Good good morning, good morning, good morning. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Fresh edition is happening right now on this Friday, February 27th, 2026. Got some special guests coming in today. It's gonna be a lively show. Love Supreme Friday on this what are we at? Season 4B?
Yeah.
Yeah. Follow the money, it's going down. Fired up. First Sky Omaha. In the morning. Money. Thanks for joining us once again. You're listening to a fresh edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Good morning. My name is Paul B. He's Buddy to God. We really appreciate you guys getting up early this morning with us in order to have some discussion. Love Supreme Friday today, and but there is a lot of news, a lot of serious things we got to talk about as well. But as you saw in the beginning, we got special guests coming on. We actually have two guests today, so we're really gonna keep it moving. We have Amanda Kephart from Film Streams, our partnership with Film Streams, budding right now, which is really happy about. We'll be talking about some films coming up in March, and then later on in the show, Brianna Full from the school board is going to join us, and she says she has a special announcement and wants to come on and talk a little bit about what's happening in this on the board. So yeah, two special guests coming in today. I highly encourage you to stay around and participate in that conversation. Get your questions ready as well, and yeah, we'll have a good Love Supreme Friday today if we can manage that.
Kind of like a Women's Friday a little bit.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. Look, definitely loving the Film Streams connection with the third space that they provide. Some of the important films that are happening, the talkbacks that happen afterwards. I think it's more than just entertainment. It's actually part of the strategic communication as far as I'm concerned. So
there you go. There you
go. Yeah. Shout out. How you doing today, buddy? What's happening, man?
Man, I'm all right. A little lightheaded, kind of woke up in the middle of the REM sleep as you were explaining. Like, yeah. Last thing I remember was like being in the middle of a dream and then waking up like, oh, what time is it? What time is it?
Oh, I hate
that. Yeah, man. Kind of still adjusting, a little wonky, but definitely looking forward to today's conversation. Of course, we have a jam-packed day with our guests, a lot of things going on news-wise, and of course, you gotta love a Love Supreme Friday, man. So yeah, feeling good. Of course, man, personal life dealing with some issues with my car, Hoopty Crew. Y'all pray for me, man. Yeah, Hoopty Crew, man. I just put a new starter on my car earlier this week, and then one could put on me again, man. So yeah. We're dealing with that. But other than that, man, everything is everything. How about you, man? How's life?
Yeah, same. Just getting through it, doing what we can do. That's all we can do. So as long as we stay consistent on a few things, then I'm feeling okay. It seems like every quarter is crunch time for something. Taxes and things this quarter. Yeah. So we're trying to hold each other. That's all we can do. Leia Keister in the chat. I think it's my turn for the Yippee Skippies. Leia Keister gives me a happy fry yip yay yo yippee. Oh, see, somebody gonna jump in on the middle of it. Let me try it again. Happy fry yip yay yo yippee yo yippee yay yippee yo yip yay.
Okay. Almost. I think you threw an extra yay in there, but
yeah, I usually
not bad.
I'm from California, right? Yeah. You put it.
Hey.
What it is, Marlon Harrison. Good morning, First Guy family, and happy TGIF family. Shout out to Marlon Harrison. Definitely check out his celebration of Black History Month that goes on in Friends of First Sky Omaha. Appreciate that. RG gives us a morning, y'all. Appreciate you.
Hey.
Michelle Moreno in the chat. Good morning. She says, good Friday morning. Hope everyone has an amazing weekend. Yeah, let us know what you're doing this weekend, too. We'll be talking about some haps a little later on in the show. And if you have any haps, let us know. Put them in the chat. Put them in Friends of First Sky Omaha, the group page. Let us know if there's anything fun happening, especially on Love Supreme Friday.
Man.
Pops gives us a good Friday morning and mad love from Las Vegas. Appreciate you, Pops. Heather Williams, good morning, everyone. Right on. Mama Guy says, good morning, fam. Good morning.
Hey.
Judy Prinzler says, Friday is here. She says, celebrates and help others. Celebrate and help others.
I like that.
Very nice. Marlon Harrison says the Omaha Cinco is going viral. I'm seeing on the Share Dome, Shade Room, CNN, ABC, the Today Show, Fox News, the BBC, World Star Hip Hop, New York Times, Washington Post, to
To
name a
name
few.
a few.
Yeah, national news, that sinkhole for real. That's hilarious. Also, Marlon Harrison says what he said. I got homeboys in Fayetteville, North Carolina, posting about it on Facebook. So zero surprise.
Man,
Yeah, yeah, I feel that. Good morning, Kimber Snipes. This is a good morning. Golf Fish Camp in the chat. What's happening? Good morning,
hey,
Omaha. What's happening?
what's up, cuz?
Family in the house. Anthony Rogers right. Marlon Harrison, Sinkhole John has still not made a public statement on this matter. Uh, Whomever is doing the comms needs to be fired immediately. I don't know, man. I think you come on here to do hot takes, so I don't know about all that, but we'll see what's happening. I think it's pretty funny right now that I'm telling you, I ain't laughed so hard when them two cars backed up away real slow from the action. Hilarious. I think and also with that sinkhole, I really think there's some bigger issues here that sinkholes can just be falling like that. Like what's going on underneath Nebraska.
Hmm.
Sinkholes are an interesting thing, man. That means there's like water damage and all kinds of stuff going on underneath that ain't nobody messed with for years.
Well, I mean, since you said it, I will say that I've been talking about floodplaning and you know how the city of Omaha is dealing with its flooding and you know how flooding could seep into anyway. Yeah.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Just saying, you know, shout out to Omaha North Engineering.
Ooh, there you go.
Just
Let's
saying.
do a few community updates while we're at it. I appreciate everybody coming through early this morning as well. If you guys haven't checked it out, man, go to Flatwater Free Press. They have a whole photo montage, basically Black life in Omaha, 15
Man.
years. Brother Abiola went through all his images, 100,000 images, and pulled out a bunch of stuff. Seriously, first of all, he's a super talented photographer, and then second of all, to be to have been kind of an Omaha historian this way and capturing life for the last 15 years, super interesting. And picking out the ones he thought were the best for this series. Shout out to Flatwater for giving them the platform to put that on. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. Black Life in
Man.
Omaha, definitely check it out. Brother Abiola is a super talented dude for real. Also, coming up this weekend too, we've been hearing a lot about the Dreamland Lounge, Katie Rain's joint.
Hey.
She says that they're going to do a soft opening this weekend. She says we're excited about our doors, open our doors for a series of soft openings in Dreamland Lounge this weekend. What started as a vision now becoming an experience. We put a lot of heart into this a space of live music, intentional design, crafted cocktails, and elevated energy. So if you don't know where this is at, then you got to kind of look up and see what's happening here. But Dream Lounge Omaha is going to be on Ames, and it's I can't tell what the cross streets are just yet, but it's on Ames. You have to definitely kind of dig in a little bit and check it out. Like I said, it's a soft opening, so they're not doing the grand opening yet. But shout out to them for doing the things they're doing there with the Dreamland. I think we could use another nice jazz club and so on. What's happening? You there?
Yeah, it's the internet's doing what the internet
Oh,
does.
it's doing
Yeah,
that thing.
yeah, doing that
Also,
thing.
also, what's happening opening weekend is they are going to have some entertainment there. This will be a tenor saxophone player, Mateja Jakovic, is going to be at Dreamland Lounge. Again, check out Dreamland Lounge on Facebook. Get some more information. Find out about what's going on. If you want to be a part of that soft opening, or if you just want to wait until the grand opening, you can do that too. So definitely check it out. It's happening. It's not Anthony Rogers right. It's not funny. No, I disagree with you. I think it is funny, and I think we can agree to disagree on that. McGaw Fish Camp says Nebraska sits on underground water table. Yep, this is what Buddy be talking about. We're definitely interested in what's going to happen, especially around the Saddle Creek area, which is already
Man.
gets flooded all the time. We talk about this all the time, but sinkholes are a trip. I definitely would love to talk to when we get to our next monthly meetup with the mayor. See what the plans are for that for sure. This is something that is really kind of it's a trip, man. It's kind of scary when you think about it. People
Yeah.
coming from California and knowing about earthquakes and what happens with the earth and so on, to come to a place that doesn't really have earthquakes but has stuff like that happening. There really is something going on underneath the ground.
Man,
That,
I mean,
mhm.
also above the ground, we'll kind of be talking about global warming a little later on in the show with one of our guests. But think of the flooding that's been going on from the ice melting in Canada and kind of coming down. Think of how we lost, the cafe and all this investment next to the river. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
conversations have to be having. Follow the money.
Big time, big time. Tamara Dwyer in the chat. Good morning. Says Abiola, love. He just did picks for me yesterday. That's what's up.
Nice,
Another
nice.
talent, man. Shout
Man.
out to Thomas Curry too, the brother that just passed away. That it was also a historian with that camera that way. And shout out to Union for Contemporary Art for honoring him. But yeah, Abiola is another one. We got some serious historians with the film cameras going around and doing the thing in Omaha and capturing what's going on. So shout out to them. That's a very love supreme thing as far as I'm concerned. And
News gang.
yeah, news gang too,
News
for
gang.
real.
News gang. Hey, every picture, 1,000 words, maybe more.
That's really real. We'll save some more of the haps for a little later on in the show. And again, if you have any haps, please let us know. Put them in the chat. Put them in Friends of First Sky Omaha, the Facebook group page, so we can know what's going on this weekend, if there's anything we need to go to. And of course, we always are saying, hey, if it's the weekend, find something fun, find something that has to do with art. But if it's an important meeting or something, that's cool too. Let us know what it is that's important that we need to leave our houses and go out and do and live alive with one another. We want to know.
Hey.
Yep. In the meantime, between time, I'm gonna go ahead and throw it over to Buddy. What is today's thread? Lots of stuff going on today for sure.
Yeah, it's a lot going on. I honestly don't even know if we'll have time to get to it all, but we will try because we have to definitely touch on it, especially as I mentioned earlier, a little bit of the global warming situation as we prepare for our guests. Shout out to Amanda Kephart joining us from Film Streams, coming talking about some of the films and projects that they have on the horizon. Also, later on, Brianna Full joining us from OPS to talk about some of the things going on that front as well. But also, we have a lot to dive into as far as the Trump administration, the pressure that's being applied, and how we're seeing that echoed in Nebraska, of course, and ultimately what, as we like to get to, what can we do about it? But of course, many industries feeling the pressure. Of course, the AI industry, kind of the big headline is Anthropic and the Secretary of War or the Department of War, basically having a whole standoff. Basically, the Department of War and PHEX bullying Anthropic for access to their AI models. In other news, JD Vance is applying pressure to Minnesota, again claiming fraud in that state as far as their Medicaid situation, now blocking their Medicaid. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about that. But how many of you have heard about what's going on with Medicaid? Nebraska side, apparently there is a bill that could basically reroute costs to you or possibly hospitals, which could lead to hospitals closing and doctors being fired. So again, a real situation as far as Medicaid, not just nationally, but here in Nebraska as well. Also paying attention to what's going on with the voting situation. We're still pushing the 6 to Dismiss campaign. We are in the middle of a midterm wave across the nation, and we're seeing a lot of movement in regards to voting. And speaking of movement, apparently Douglas County Election Commission has announced that there will be some movement with the polling places. I'm gonna just say in general, just if you plan on voting, this is something you need to stay on top of, not just where your polling place is, but whether or not you've been purged from the rolls, whether or not you have the documents necessary to vote, even if you are registered. Just know it's a chaos scene, and I'm just keeping it clean. But just know if you plan on voting, be aware of what's going on. This cannot be a passive voting cycle. So with that, man, Medicaid, what else? What else am I missing? It's so much. Housing. Oh, almost forgot. HUD changed its rules to housing. So yeah, we got a lot to get into. We're about 15 minutes into this thing. As always, let your mind be free, let your voice be heard. In the meantime, between time, Paul B.
Yo.
What's the word?
Yeah, man. Just once again, just really appreciate everybody getting up early. Do us a favor, share the show. If you're on Facebook, share it on your page. If you're on YouTube, share the link, and also like and subscribe over there. Try to get everybody that you can think of that would benefit from these conversations to come in. Love to hear from all voices as well. We'll take a quick break and jump back into the show and get going. Again, we have special guests coming in, 2 guests today, so we're keeping it moving. It's happening very shortly here. Amanda Kephart from Film Streams is coming through. Talk a little bit about some of the films that are happening and some of the important events going on in that third space we call Film Streams.
Hey.
And and then also Brianna Full will be coming in later on in the show to have. She has an announcement and some things to talk about when it comes to school board. So shout out to our special guests coming in. Stay tuned for them. Get your questions ready, and we'll take a quick break and come back and get into it. Stay tuned. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's Buddy the God.
Hey.
The rules that Germans play. We have to show them by our actions that we do not intend to play the rules that the Jews play. They're a bunch of megalomaniac warmongers.
Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddy the God, all of you chat chimers, ghost listeners, monitoring spirits. Thanks for joining us. It is a Friday, and it's also the day before the 28th is the last day of the month, last day of Black History Month too, as well, right? For the history of Black history that is for us all year long. It's going down 100th anniversary of Black History Month, as a matter of fact, about to come to a close tomorrow. Once again, want to give a shout out to Marlon Harrison. He's been putting some Black History Month facts in Friends of First Sky Omaha. That's pretty cool. Appreciate that. Definitely look forward to that. And also, don't forget, for our contribution to Black History Month, we did the takeover. We did took over the book drop, which is the Omaha Public Library's official podcast. If you want to, you can go over to that where you get your podcast, find that episode and check it out. We had a lot of good, a good conversation about some of the things that you ought to check out at the library and outside of the library as well, in order to deepen your knowledge about Black history for sure.
Good old Canopy.
So, there you go, man. Canopy. That's my joint. Especially with all this stuff going on. I'm mad at Netflix now for not doing that bid.
Man,
I'm not getting HBO again. You know, it's something else, bro. Something else. Pops in the chat says, my guess is that the aquifers that Omaha depends upon, Platte River, alluvial aquifer. I don't know nothing about this stuff, Pops. And the Dakota sandstone aquifer are suffering from overpumping. They may not be telling you about. Okay. Sean McCarthy gives us a good morning. Good morning to you. Stephen Abrahams in the chat says you may so many changes are going on. It's hard to focus on just one. You ain't lying.
Man. A lot of pieces moving on the board.
Speaking of which, what's the first move? What's the first move, buddy?
Yeah, man. Speaking of moving, let's just go ahead and dive into this moving of the polling places. Apparently, and this is being reported by Channel 7. A heads up, Douglas County voters, your voting location may have changed. This information can be found on the Douglas County Election Commission's website. So for those of you, again, in Douglas County planning to vote coming up, look out. The Douglas County Election Commission said up to 7% of polling places are affected. The changes are due to construction, scheduling conflicts, and changes in building ownership. If your location changed, you'll be notified by a postcard in the mail in April. Voters can still opt to vote early by mail for now. And the primary election is scheduled for Tuesday, May 12th. But again, as I mentioned, for now, we got to pay attention to what's going on as far as the voting situation. I've been mentioning, or at least keeping up to date, what's going on here in Fulton County. If you remember, again, the FBI raided a Fulton County Election Commission office earlier this year. And we're seeing pressure being put on several states, especially swing states throughout the nation. And of course, we've been hearing some commotion, or at least whispers about the blue dot also being undermined, and the whole winner take all debate still kind of bubbling in the background. So when we think about voting in Nebraska, especially given the SAVE Act and all things going on with that, again, 7% of polling places only being affected seems minute, but in general, do not sleep on the voting situation. We're still pushing the six to dismiss. There's actually a gentleman announcing his run for Douglas County Sheriff, which we'll dive into here in a second. But in the meantime, between time, Paul, as a voter, what do you think about this?
Well, I think this is not, of course, not new. Every
Mhm.
vote season, they've been saying the same thing. This has been happening now for the last probably 4 or 5 vote cycles,
Mhm.
where the things have been changed and moved around. For the most part, I feel like our Douglas County Election Commission has been kind of on top of things a little bit. They don't seem. I got the feeling from them that they're not really down with these changes, and they're not. They got to comply to a bunch of stuff. But it seems to me like they've been trying to do a decent job in trying to make sure that it's clear, everything is clear, and they're there to help and so on. So I don't really get that feeling that we're battling the commission so much.
Mhm.
But again, we can't just rely on them. You have to kind of decide that you're going to be diligent enough to look this stuff at yourself. Also, I heard just this morning on KIOS that there's going to be a color. They're going to have the partisan ballots. The ballots are going to be broken up by affiliation, and there's going to be actual color banners on the top of these things, so that people there at the commission can peep out who's who from a distance. Like they can take a look and see, oh, he's got a blue ballot, he's voting Democrat. Oh, he's got a red ballot, he's voting Republican. Oh, he's got a purple ballot, he's independent. Oh, he's
Mm.
got a green ballot, he's voting for the weed stuff. Like, why do they need that thing? I don't know, not really sure, but but well, I mean, we can speculate.
Mhm.
Of course, when we talk, we have to mix that in with the conversation we have about threats of ICE being around on deck and so on. So they make it easier to see who's voting which way, and they're claiming it's going to be easier for the people that are there at the voting commission to be able to see what's what. But sounds like some mess to me. So again, being diligent about all these things, finding out about all these things, find out if you have all the documentation you need. Of course, we already went through this cycle of you got to have a ID and the right kind of ID in order to be even to vote. Now that I remember that was on the ballot for a
Mhm.
while, and
Right.
it went that way. So lots to be diligent about if you plan on doing it. And if you plan on voting early, then get a hold of them too, because there's some special ballots going out for that. And then also be diligent on the day of. If you're one of them kind of voters that go vote on the day of, might be some mess.
Yeah, yeah. I've heard reports of people around the nation already being turned away from voting in certain states, especially Republican states, i.e., Texas. So yeah, yeah. The main concern is whether or not people will be willing to go along with the Trump administration in the obvious direction that they're going, or stand up, which is pointing the case for why we're pushing the six to dismiss situation, because even on the local level we need people willing to stand up and combat what we're seeing from the Trump administration in the obvious direction this country is going, which is why I also wanted to acknowledge brother Marshall Mark Martinez, who announced via the Nebraska Examiner, shout out to them as always, that he is running for Douglas County Sheriff. Again, Sheriff Aaron Hansen is a part, excuse me, of that six to dismiss list that we're pushing. Again, get them out the paint, as brother RG likes to say. But brother Martinez seeks to unseat again Douglas County Sheriff Aaron Hansen. Martinez is banking on his law enforcement experience to flip the post blue from red, saying he's looking to restore community trust. Martinez's main pitch to Omaha voters is needed experience and his willingness to work side by side with the community. Saying, I think Douglas County needs an experienced and battle tested sheriff. Martinez, again, is a lifelong Nebraskan and U.S. Marshal for the District of Nebraska from 2010 to 18. And he was appointed by former President Barack Obama. Also, the former deputy chief moved up the ranks of the Omaha Police Department, where he served from 1984 to 2009. He also previously worked at the Douglas County Sheriff's Office as a crime lab technician. But of course, brother Mark Martinez, and definitely getting some love from again our friends and family out of First Sky Omaha. Shout out to Precious McKesson, kind of pushing the line, announcing early on that we might have somebody to combat against Aaron Hansen in his bid for re-election. Of course, we know how most of you feel about it, but again, drop your thoughts in the chat, especially if you're familiar with Brother Martinez. Again, 6 to dismiss. It's not just about dismissing, but who are we going to replace them with?
Very true. Yeah, we talked about this the other day. Announced that, and these are some people that we want to talk to, and also have some conversations with, and get to know. So we'll be looking for that on our YouTube page. Some more interviews that are coming up with some of the people. That's kind of what we're focusing on. We already know the 6 that everybody's talking about dismissing. The big question is who's going to be able to go take those seats over.
Man.
And I'm sure, and a lot of them are people that we are not familiar with, don't know quite yet. So we just need to get to know them better for sure. So yeah, that's what's going on. We'll see what's happening there. Also, Kimmer in the chat is saying, I would love to know why Brian Cruz stepped down as election commissioner. He was always super fair and worked well with Chris Carruthers. Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking about that as we were talking about that, because if you remember, all of this isn't new. The last election we had, there was commotion and question marks and just pressure around voting. And even so much so that they're still pushing this fraud situation. But yeah, do you know who is the current commissioner for Douglas County?
Let us know. She's also saying she has known Mark for 20 years. Super
Nice.
solid.
Okay.
So co-sign from Kimmer Snipes for sure. That's what's up.
There you go.
Yeah, we'll be talking about Brother Mark here soon, and like I said, be looking out for interviews on YouTube, our YouTube channel, for those things as well. That's what's up. 726. If you believe in the concept of time, we're looking forward to our next guest that's coming up very shortly. Before we get to that, buddy, a couple of other mentions that you have that we want to bring up before we get to our guest.
Yeah, one. I'm looking to load this. Kind of moving on me. But again, the point that I made as far as the 6 to dismiss and why that's important and how far reaching the Trump administration's pressure is. Again, of course, recently we've seen JD Vance and Dr. Oz, of course, applying pressure on Minnesota, blocking their Medicaid. And again, healthcare is one of the central issues in all of this going on. And there's actually a bill being passed in Nebraska as well. Again, paying attention to how some of these things trickle down to our own backyard that could possibly impact our healthcare bills as far as the Medicaid law goes. Again, kind of having a struggle with this article. Yes, Channel 7 always all these ads.
Yeah, the pop-ups are out of control for sure. But Kimmer in the chat says, I forgot her name, governor appointed. She says, who are you talking about? The person that is now a commissioner over there. She says, I forgot her name. She's governor appointed. Yeah, I do remember that being governor appointed. She says, don't go off my word. Talk with him for yourselves. Good people. But just about anything is better than what we have. You got a point. But yeah, we absolutely will. Like I said, we're not familiar with him, but to get your cosign is awesome. That goes a long way with us, as you can imagine. But yeah, we'll definitely talk to him and try to reach out and see if we can get an interview, get to know him better for sure, Brother Mark.
Definitely. I also have the article. Thank you for jumping in the chat for a second. But yes, as I mentioned, and it's actually several CEOs of medical centers that are kind of chiming up because they ultimately also will feel the brunt of this change. Specifically, CEO of Saunders Medical Center said recently that a patient came through his doors with multiple broken ribs, and the only way that they were able to afford treatment was retroactive Medicaid, which again is in the crosshairs of this bill being presented in Nebraska. Currently, you can apply for Medicaid and receive coverage from any treatments you had in the last 90 days. However, this week, Nebraska legislators will consider ending that program, shuffling those fees around. CEO of the Great Plains Health, Ivan Mitchell, said first they go back to the patient. So, of course, IEU would see those increases in treatments. But also, if you are not able to pay, that cost would then fall onto the hospitals, which, again, one of the CEOs says it will fall to the hospital to just have to absorb those costs and ultimately stay alive. Hospitals have to shift those costs onto other folks. And Mitchell said to offset those costs, hospitals could increase procedure costs, eliminate services, or cut salaries altogether. And kind of when you take in consideration what Trump is doing with Trump Medical, you kind of got to wonder about some of these medical and Medicaid moves. But again, we all kind of are seeing what's happening with this, but as far as the trickle down to our own backyard, again, services possibly going up and you're feeling the brunt. What say you?
Yeah, we talk about the Trump effect. We're gonna have the White House effect in general. We'll be talking about it. As a matter of fact,
Yes.
there's a film called The White House Effect that's coming up. We're going to talk about it with our special guest that will come that we'll bring in right after the break. Again, you're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's buddy to God. Stay tuned.
Hey.
Amanda's on deck. We'll
Yeah,
be right
man.
back, y'all. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's buddy to God. She is Amanda Kephart. What's happening?
Hey,
Good morning.
Good morning to you. How are you doing this morning?
Lovely. It's beautiful outside. I get to talk to the two of you this morning, everybody who's watching and listening. So it's a good morning.
I love it. Just to let y'all know, Amanda is one of my favorite people in Omaha, Nebraska right now. So if I'm smiling too hard, that's why.
You got a gush.
Thanks for coming and joining us
fun.
again, man. How's things going over at Film Streams? What's happening?
We're rocking and rolling as always. The film reels constantly turning over here. So, we are super excited for what we've got coming up this month. And, the month is almost over. As we move through the rest of this month into next month and into summer, we've got so many things happening.
Before we get to it, how did the Black History Month go? How did the turnouts happen with some of those films?
Turnouts were great. You know, we did a combination showing of one of our films as a relaxed screening, which there was a good turnout for that. We've been working with the Omaha Star, so we've had Miss Terry Sanders over to do some intros on some of those films, and we're super excited about our partnership with them. We're working with them throughout at least the rest of this year. They've got some exciting stuff coming down the pipeline, so if you haven't spoken with them recently, you should definitely get one of them over here too.
We're partners with Omaha Star. We know.
Perfect. Yeah. So there's all sorts of stuff coming down the pipeline for the Omaha Star, which is very exciting as well. So we're super excited about working with them, and we look forward to continuing to collaborate throughout the rest of the year. And we got lots of stuff going on.
Very good. Very good. Love it. Well, I'm glad that we started our partnership kind of around the Black History Month and those films that were happening there. And we've been really telling people, that we're excited about this partnership just because Film Streams really is kind of this third space. It's news gang. It's really part of the whole discussion. It's a very important place, and you guys are putting very important programming in place in order for us to continue these conversations in a big way. Yeah, we're really right up our alley because we're film guys and artists, and so to be able to meld those things together is just incredible. So. I love what you guys are doing over there in a big way. You got some films that you wanted to come talk about a little bit too,
man.
Yeah. So we have a couple of things that I'm going to talk about specifically, and then a couple of things I'd like to talk about in general, if that's all right with you. So,
all right,
good. Okay. So you all were talking about the effect the White House has on us, right? So
yes.
We in fact have a movie that we're playing in next week on Monday night. It's part of our Omaha Checkup series, which is in collaboration and partnership with UNMC's College of Public Health. We're doing that the first Monday of every month down at the Ruth Sokoloff Theater. Those tickets are free. You just need to get online and register. And we are playing next Monday, The White House Effect, which is a movie that is talking about the effect that the White House directly had on our current climate, and probably the way the climate will be moving for the rest of our lives, at least. So it's a really interesting film. There's some local connections as well. And all of the film is documentary footage outlining sort of like what the first Bush administration did, which is, 1988, 1992, to sort of deny the things that scientists knew were happening, right? And so we're going to be talking with some friends, Rachel Luckadoo, who is over at College of Public Health, some friends with Conservation Nebraska. So we're excited about that showing, and we're very much looking forward to having a whole bunch of people show up for it.
Yeah, this is the one that doesn't Katie White's host this, or does she have something to do with that one?
Yes, Advocate Katie Whites, who is a wonderful benefactor to our community. The entire Whites family is wonderful. So yes, she is definitely a big supporter of this series.
Love it. Can't wait to check this out. I think it's such an important film to show right now, because it's like we can kind of reach back and see what's happening and parallel that to what's happening right now, which is a trip. When I think about that time frame and the climate denial and all the stuff that happened there, it seems mild compared to what's going on right now in so many ways.
We have historically, for lots of different reasons, right, not always wanted to listen to scientists and doctors. They have lots of opinions, but when you can find the ones who are doing the good work, honest work, like, we got to listen to them. We got to trust that they are the experts at what they're talking about, just like we're the experts at what we do. You two are the experts at this. So, it's really important that people pay attention to what's going on. I mean, we know that. You two talk about all the time. So come think about what we've been talking about for the last 30, 40 years with us on Monday the 3rd, 6:30 p.m.
And I find it interesting, not necessarily funny, but just interesting that, the more things change, the more they stay the same. And the adage that, history might not repeat, but it rhymes. And the fact that, of course, we're just talking about, flooding and everything that's going on as far as global warming, and the fact that, this film is actually very timely. I'm curious, as far as the curation of these films, is there some intention behind, the films that are like, as far as talking pieces, as far as what's going on socially? Can you kind of speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So, we try to stay nimble enough to be able to pivot and show things that are really relevant in the moment. We're constantly looking at our calendars to sort of assess what's coming up from a local perspective, from a national perspective. Sort of, occasionally we get to be fast enough to pivot to what's happening in the news. You'll often see, like, if someone who's a major director, Rob Reiner's a great example. When he, tragically, and his wife passed away, we were able to do a Rob Reiner sort of mini retrospective over the course of the weekend. So we try to be nimble. Some of the topics that we're talking about are ever present topics, right? This isn't exactly what you said, buddy. Like, history doesn't always repeat itself, but it definitely rhymes. And, so just happens to be that for this particular series, we're working really closely with our partners over at College Public Health, and who, by the way, are celebrating their 20th year this year, which is pretty cool. And, so we worked really closely with them to hit some of those, awareness months that are of interest to them in their profession. We also wanted to cover topics that were timely in our own community. We started with the piece about the opioid crisis back in January, and we know that Omaha has a large problem with opioid crises, like many communities do. But being able to talk about it, and especially from the lens of women in recovery, was incredibly important, because women are often overlooked. And when we talk about scientists and doctors again, most of the recommendations are based off of a men's body size. Astronauts' space suits are designed for a men's body size. So, like, all of these considerations are not often presented through the lens of a feminine perspective. So, like, thinking about that, carving space out for that, making sure that we're talking about that. One of my favorite questions to ask is, who's not in the room? Like, who should be a part of this conversation? So we do a lot of that as we're planning and thinking and curating.
I was kind of thinking about the last first Mondays, this series that you had. I think last month was about women's health. Uh,
Yeah, we maternal health
maternal.
specifically
Yeah,
with
so I
a
was I
focus
was
on Black women. Yeah.
right. So I was wondering about this particular film, the this effect, the what is it, the White House effect,
Mhm.
Hmm.
and why the partnership with the health organization for this particular one. It seems a little bit of a departure from the last month, the month before. Am I missing something? Is it?
No, I think that's a great question, right? So public health is so encapsulating, and
Mhm.
I think it sort of is a newer sort of way to approach how we talk to people. Um, and when I say we, I mean how we talk about what makes one healthy and what affects how we move through the world. You know, the film Divisible is fantastic, and you've got Dr. Terry Sanders talking about the coal plant in North Omaha and
Right.
how that's adversely affecting an entire population and generationally.
Mhm.
And so these things are directly correlated. All of these things are directly correlated. Uh, the government's insistence that climate change wasn't happening, or that it's not happening, or that it didn't start a long time ago, makes us less able to engage in a healthier lifestyle and living healthier lives, right?
Mm.
You know, coal is not great. So, you know, I
Mm.
think like at a minimum, that's a direct correlation that we can see in our own community.
Hmm. Yeah.
Man, you're
I
touching
don't.
on several.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. She's just getting the mind going. You're touching on several things. I was
Yeah,
actually in preparation for the show, came across a book called The Pillars of Society, which basically the theme of it is honesty
yeah,
you know, our ability to be honest about what it is that we're seeing. And you know, global warming is one of those things where, you know, despite what we're seeing, we're constantly told that we don't believe our eyes. We're, you know, constantly told not to be honest with ourselves. So that's very interesting. I'm gonna come back to that a little later on.
yeah,
But I also want to touch on, first of all, it's interesting that you're looking at global warming through a health lens versus an environmental lens. I definitely agree on the perspective, but when I think of global warming, I think firstly environmental, but of course it definitely connects to health, which is something that is also we're seeing, you know, through the Trump administration, very timely on these conversations. Of course, we'll get into what's happening with Minnesota and Medicaid here in a second, but I did want to talk about the second film that you have for March, Grandma, which of course deals with abortion and access to healthcare and being able to afford healthcare and those things. So can you kind of speak to that and why that was important to present?
yeah. So this is part of our community collaboration series, and I encourage, you know, any of your readers who are part of organizations who think a partnership with us would be interesting and fun to reach out. Film is often a great equalizer, right? So you get to really step into someone else's mind space, body space, head space for a bit. And I talk a lot about this sort of larger than life engagement that film, going to see a film in the theater, has on us, right? It's different. Even if you have a 100-inch TV at home, it's different than sitting in a space where everything is larger than life. And so
Mm,
this film is in partnership with the Women's Fund of Omaha Youth Advisory Council. And so these are all very young adults who are, our partnership is centered with very young adults who are going to be part of the panel and talk about how important it is to have access to emergency contraception. And so the film itself has Lily Tomlin, Julia Garner. Yeah, you've got the Marcia Gay Harden, Judy Greer, Laverne Cox, Sam Elliott, like this great cast of actors. And it Lily Tomlin is one of the main characters. She's spoiler, she's the grandma, and she's a poet whose granddaughter comes to her and needs money for an abortion. And so it's this movie about what happens throughout the course of the day and um, how they move through that together. And, you know, again, here we are talking about access to public health, but also generational health, and, you know, what it means to be able to have a real honest conversation with someone about having a conversation that's based in truth, right?
mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Man,
So we're
that's so
excited
true.
about that collaboration.
Yeah.
Young people in the theater always makes my heart happy.
Okay.
Yeah. And man, Film Streams is uniquely positioned to be, a venue to have those kind of conversations. So thank you.
Yeah. That's just it, right? Like I said, you get to step into somebody else's headspace, mind space, narrative, their story for a minute. And when you do that and it's so big and it's in the, you're really forced to integrate yourself into someone else's story. And I think that's really
Mm,
beautiful.
Yeah,
yeah.
as a filmmaker, we understand this process of how film gets made. I think about films like Taxi Driver, where that was written in the perspective of the main character, and all
Right.
you ever saw of the world was through his eyes,
Right.
and it made you sympathetic to kind of an unsympathetic character.
Mm,
In order to do
Yeah.
it, the psychology of how things are shot and edited, in order for you to be able to feel that is super important, and it's a catalyst for conversation, which to me, like we get on this show, we pull an article, we start talking about that article, we read between the lines, we dig in, we talk to each other about how we feel about this article. The article is the jump off point, is the catalyst for us to have this
Yeah.
conversation. Film does the same thing. Film gives you a perspective, it gives you the education on the subject, it gives you all these things, and then the fact that you guys take it that step further to have the conversation about it, to use it as a catalyst for conversation and change, and bring on experts and so on. It's just like it's too powerful. It's too powerful of a situation. We're never going to get that from just sitting around watching Channel 7 News or whatever.
No, and you don't. It's rare to get that sort of conversational engagement kind of anywhere right now. It feels like,
Mhm.
it, talking specifically about some of the engagements we see locally, there's a lot of conversations that are happening between two people on stage, but there's not always a conversation for the audience to be involved. And I think that's one of the things that makes what we do particularly special, right? Like we devote a large portion of our after film engagement to making sure the audience has time to posit questions of the panelists we bring in. And I think that there's something that's unique about that. Sometimes, you're really shocked at a question someone asked because that wasn't even in your wheelhouse of thinking, right? Like putting those two things together. But we're always getting a personal perspective. And I think that's really, oh my gosh, Anthony Rogers, right, just said Terry Crawford. And yes, Dr. Terry Crawford. I'm sorry, I said Terry Sanders. Dr. Terry Crawford, yes, thank you. Um, got called out and I appreciate it. So anyway, yeah, it's like super, super cool to have that opportunity, to have response in real time.
Hmm.
hmm
Connected to the community the way you guys do.
Yeah.
Anthony Rogers Wright was asking, can we put the 411 on the White House effect will be shown again, please? So yeah, Monday, March 3rd, Ruth Sokoloff Theater, the White House effect. I put it in the chat for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
6:30 p.m.
6:30.
There you go. Also, speaking of getting questions from the audience, brother RG in the chat as well, asking about any chance Film Streams can bring back the Spike Lee collection. Mm-hmm.
The Spike Lee collection is always on deck. Yeah, we usually don't go back to show what we consider a repertory piece, an older film, a classic film. We usually have a cycle of about 18 to 36 months before we sort of consider reshowing. But I say that Spike has a great collection of films and films that he's worked on, not just as director, but as producer. I think also a lot of Spike's collaborators. It's interesting when you start digging into some of the adjacent works. So people he's worked with who are then doing something on other films. You see some of those beautiful artistic techniques that he brings in that are really cool. So maybe we'll think about an exploration of adjacency.
There you go. Good.
Okay. I like
What's
that. I
up?
like that.
It's just let people know it's 7:48 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, and our special guest is Amanda Kephart. She's from Film Streams, and we're having a great discussion about some of the things. I know you got one more movie you want to talk about before we get out of here, and you said you want to talk about something in general too. So let's move to where you want to go next.
Yes. So I just want to mention that the Oscars are coming up. And so we do an awards night showing. We show the Oscars in the theater, which is super exciting. and it's going to be Sunday, March 15th. We do some live conversation. We do prize giveaways. This year is actually, we've got some sponsorship from Borsheim's, so we're going to be doing a jewelry giveaway. So you got to show up to get registered for that. We're going to be doing trivia. We'll have a costume contest if anybody wants to show up dressed as something, their favorite character in a movie.
Buddy,
Special.
I'll be Stack. You be
Lightning.
Smoke. Smoke. You be Smoke. I'll be Stack.
We're gonna smoke in a sack.
Yeah, yep.
So
Be cousins.
So yeah, come celebrate that with us. Yes, thank you for dropping that in the chat. Doors open at 5. Pre-show starts at 5:30. We'll have Zaytuna food truck with food available for purchase as well. They'll be here. We're gonna have some ice cream that's named after some hopeful winners. Yeah, so it's going to be a great time. Lots of laughs, lots of fun, real casual. So we're excited about that, and that's Sunday the 15th.
Okay, that sounds like a good holler at the screen night for me.
Yes. Yeah. Some of us will be hollering at screens that night.
Right. Yeah, sinners better take it. That's all I know.
Man.
I really want a sinner sweep so bad.
Yeah, especially after the BAFTA situation. Yeah, we need some reconciliation. We need some reconciliation.
Yeah. I mean, listen, we were talking as a team before Mr. Lee came to town, and we were saying, who would our ideal, next featured guest be, right? Like, just in a perfect world, like, it was an icebreaker question. And because I had been watching so many Spike Lee films, I was like, Delroy Lindo, hands down. This is a man who has not gotten his flowers right at all. And then, like, the BAFTA.
Yeah. Sorry, I mentioned it. Sorry.
No, bless their hearts.
Yeah.
We need West Indian Archie to come on through. Come on.
Yeah. So, so Delroy Lindo for sure needs some flowers, especially after that. And, of course, Mr. Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say, the filmmaker, I'm blanking on his name, Ryan Coogler. I thought you were about to tease us with that.
I wish. I have no actual news as an update. That was just simply an icebreaker. I will be very clear.
Okay.
Right.
But if anybody knows, yes, Lindo is that dude. Like, if anybody knows Delroy Lindo, like, have him call us up.
Man. Yeah, I would that would be, I can definitely see sitting at the Hollands, listening to his stories for real.
What really broke me was like doing a piece by piece breakdown of the Five Bloods and watching that scene where he as Paul is talking to himself, or God, I don't know who he's talking to. It's like one of the most beautiful scenes and heartbreaking and mending. I mean, like, wow. Anyway, yeah. Go watch the Five Bloods if you haven't seen it. The movie is great.
Definitely put suggestions. So I'm calling out to the chat, to the chat chimers, the ghost listeners. Realize what Film Streams is. It's a conversation. It's not just a place for you to go watch movies. As you can see, they curate things according to the times and all the stuff that's going on. So you can definitely be in the conversation. How do you communicate with the public? What's the best way for you guys to have some cross back and forth? Maybe people want to suggest movies to come, or tell you guys what you guys want to hear. What's the best portal for that for you guys?
That's a good question. Sometimes people will call. Sometimes people will send an email. It's I'm actually writing down some of the notes from the chat, just so they're close at hand. I saw the note about Rhea Salter. So we have a very large team, and we're constantly scouring new releases, repertory pieces. The world of movies is vast and wide and huge, and we try to get our eyes on as much as we can. Our team goes to various film festivals at different points throughout the year because knowing what's coming down the pipeline allows us to do that further thinking and find a space where we think this great movie, and we know because of the reception that it's getting, we've got space for that. There is so much work. So long story short, this is a great spot to call out with us directly is when we're here on First Sky. Like, I'm definitely taking notes of that. But you can always send us an email. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. A shout out to Anthony Rogers right in the chat. Again, as you acknowledge, Raya Salter.
Yes.
He says a Black woman, a first-time filmmaker and long-time environmental justice champion, talking about her film Black Soil Rising. And it says it's about the work of Black-led efforts in communities in the climate change struggle. So appreciate you with that. Appreciate you.
Man.
There's I don't know that it's necessarily about this, but there's this really beautiful book called We Are Each Other's Harvest, which is about Black farmers and how difficult it is to be a small scale Black farmer in America, and the perceived disconnection of the land that we as Black people have, so yeah, I'm definitely already interested in finding that, so I will be doing that.
Man,
I've been looking for it.
Nice.
Love that.
Nice.
Love it. Well, yeah, we
we did announce that we were going to do another season this year. We are going to do, we're going to have, Anthony already knew what book I was talking about. I love it. So we are going to do another film season this year. Last year, we celebrated the 100th year of the Dundee Theater. This year, we're going to do the Dundee Marquee series. So we've got 10 films that are playing starting in March. You can go online and buy tickets to the entire series or just an individual film if you like. We're starting off on the 21st of March with Robin Hood, the 1938 sort of classic. We're playing Casablanca, North by Northwest, The Wiz. We're playing, I'm going to flip the page over because I'll forget, Persepolis, The Life of Pi, Everywhere All at Once, Thelma and Louise. I think I missed Charade. So we've got another great collection of films that we're showing, classic films that have changed sort of the way we think about film, or move through the world, these grand pieces that are beautiful to see. So we're very excited about that as well.
Man, if you haven't seen Everything Everywhere All at Once, man, that's visual beauty. Like, great film. Great film.
And the great Michelle Yeoh.
Yes.
She's an amazing action movie star, in my opinion, and a great actress. So,
and I love her husband in that film too.
Yeah.
I got three before. I'm gonna need three. I got three I need you to write down before I let you go. I'm gonna need Brother from Another Planet.
Right.
I'm gonna need Under the Cherry Moon, Princess pick, and The Spook That's Set by the Door. I'm gonna need those three to be shown.
Now, I don't make all these decisions, right?
Hey, we got to try. You
got some influence over there now.
Yeah, there you go.
Listen, I interviewed Spike Lee. Y'all gonna listen to what I got to say around here. Film stream. No, I'm just playing. I know you guys.
Also, if you can, space is the
place. Yes, absolutely. I got those. I have those down. We'll see what we can do about getting them to the docket in the next little bit.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Can't wait for you to come back next month and continue the conversation. And anytime you want to come back in between, let us know.
Yeah.
For sure.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I might take you up on that.
That's what's up.
Hey,
we love talking about it.
Yeah, don't threaten me with a good time.
Well, thank you, buddy. Thank you, Paul.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Have a good one.
We'll see you soon.
Take care. Bye.
Peace.
Man,
right.
There you go.
Love film streams, man. Just can't tell you. Such a part. Let's take a quick break and we'll jump into the second hour of First Sky Omaha in the morning.
And
we'll be talking. We still have another guest coming. We got special guest Brianna Full that's going to come through a little bit later on and talk all things school board. So we'll be looking forward to speaking with her, and so stay tuned for that. Thank you for everybody who joined us and gave some love and respect to our guest Amanda and had some great suggestions too. Thanks Anthony Rogers Wright for for the discussion. You said, did you say something about you guys went to school together? Yeah. Oh, Lee and I went to. Oh, you're talking about the filmmaker. That's what's up. I appreciate that. Tisa Harding in the chat saying, "Good morning, beautiful people." I'm missing all kinds of
man.
here. Yeah. The spook who sat by the door would be clutch. Come on,
Man, come on, man.
They ain't ready for it. They ain't ready for
They
it. I
not,
don't know what's gonna happen, but
yeah.
we'll see. We'll see. You know how to put it out there. That's what's up. Yeah, nice energy. I appreciate that. Anthony Rogers, right? Thank you. Yes, very nice energy. And I'm very interested. I think I saw a piece of that film. You were talking about Black Soil Rising at one point, and it was one of those I was gonna come back and be like, ooh, I got to come back and check that out a little bit deeper here. So that's what's up. Great suggestions. And again, I hope that you really, really understand that the way we look at what Film Streams is doing is exactly the same thing as what we're doing, using art, using film as a catalyst for discussion. If it is such a difference, a divergence from the AMC's and the other huge movies that are only there for entertainment purposes. That's cool, but to use film for catalyst for change, for catalyst for discussion, to be able to bring on experts of the subject of the film to speak to after the film, all that stuff is just it can do nothing but enhance your intelligence, your knowledge about a subject, and your heart and your feeling about a subject too. And all these things equal movement after you engage. So shout out to everybody that keeps doing that. I highly suggest that you go ahead and get yourself a membership over Film Streams. It doesn't cost much. And it is a situation over there where that's how they survive. They survive over memberships, sponsorships, and so on. So you can sit there at a movie and see all the members and sponsors and people that are behind making Film Streams be what it is. Community resource in a big way. Yeah. Big way. Love it. Anthony Rogers Royce says the public health and climate change discussion is a major one for Omaha, especially after what OPPD pulled with that false health risk assessment. I still can't believe they did that. That was just how blatant that mess, man.
Going back to what I was saying earlier about honesty and the need for honesty, especially for a successful and healthy society, man. Like institutions lying to us and telling us not to believe our eyes. It's crazy,
insane. 8:01. If you believe in the concept of time, we'll take a quick break. First Guy Omaha in the morning. All be buddy to God. We'll be right back, y'all. Welcome back. First Guy Omaha in the morning. My name is Paul B. He's buddy to God. We appreciate you guys coming back through. That was Pop's theme. Shout out to Pops. As a matter of fact, Pops is about to drop some more. He's got the Lost Anthology Volume 2 dropping on Sunday, March 1st. He'll be dropping the link to his music. Definitely check it out. That's Pops right there, bro. Pops was 20 in this picture right here, calling the fam, letting them know I was born. This is the day I was born right here. So classic photo. Peace. Shout out to Pops, PBA3. What's up, Papa San? Appreciate you. And all the music that you are finding and putting out from the old days, man. The Lost Anthology. Really appreciate it.
Look at that fro. Immaculate.
Clean. Always. That's what's up. So be looking out for Pops stuff. If you're not a friend of Pops, check him out on Facebook, Paul B. Allen III. And check out his music. Get that link on Sunday. Check it out. I think you can get it from wherever you get music, Spotify, all the places, if you still mess with Spotify.
No,
matter of fact.
Man. Yeah, we're going
Apple Music. Hit Apple Music up right now. And as a matter of fact, Pops, we may have to try to figure out how to arrange to get some wax pressed on these things, because we getting real tired of these oligarchs, these broligarchs with these massive
let it loose, Paul. We in the second hour, man. Let it loose.
I mean, I'm about 3 months away from sending out a letter to all my loved ones and breaking down how it is we're gonna get off of all this mess, all the
Man,
social medias, all the Googles, all the stuff. I've been heavily digging into all of the decentralized ways to communicate and all the things because look at what's going on. Look at what's happening. Even the AI. It's funny. I was having a conversation with somebody the other day about AI. I had been telling people if you're gonna mess with it, mess with Anthropic, mess with Claude. Claude has a little bit better algorithm and people behind it that want Claude to be, that are trying to feed it and guide it in a way that that AI is going to be a little bit more human, if you will, than some of these other ones that are just jacking everything and regurgitating everything. So something just went down with that, where now the Trump administration wants to shut down Anthropic, wants to put a bunch of sanctions on it because they want access to what Claude can do. As a matter of fact, maybe we should jump into that story real quick about it, because that's pretty interesting. And the reading between the lines part for me is, I wonder if this is what they're asking of Claude. Does that mean ChatGPT's already given it to him?
by all indications, I know for sure Google has. But yeah. If you haven't really caught wind of what's going on with the AI situation, the Trump administration talking about the White House effect, right? The Trump administration is leaning on AI company Anthropic and their Claude model, trying to get access to their scaling in order to use AI chatbots and AI technology for military purposes. And this is something that has turned into a real standoff. Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei said Thursday that the artificial intelligence company, quote unquote, cannot in good conscience accede to the Pentagon's demands to allow unrestricted, and that's kind of the linchpin in all this conversation, is the fact that they want unrestricted use of its technology, something that again Anthropic has stood staunchly against, being vocal in their safety protocols and as you were kind of mentioning the human aspect of AI. The sheer reality is it's not a human. It's not a human, and we need humans to hold the guardrails to keep us from living out our Matrix Terminator reality.
Mm.
And that seems like what Pete Hegseth and the Department of War are hell bent on pushing us into. Again, the maker of AI chatbot Claude said in a statement that it's not walking away from negotiations, but the new contract language received from the Defense Department made virtually no progress on preventing Claude's use for mass surveillance of Americans or in fully autonomous weapons, which of course is the main concern. Are they going to use AIs to continue their bombing of quote unquote narco terrorist boats in the Caribbean, or are they going to use AI to continue to monitor public conversations because there is no privacy in public domains? Are they going to use cameras, flock cameras, and all of this technology and AI to surveil opposition? Again, these are all the red flags of an authoritarian government, a police state, and they're pushing. Again, if you haven't heard, Pete Hegseth has basically put down the ultimatum that if Anthropic does not turn over their AI model, that they will basically retaliate by blocking Anthropic from all government contracts, which apparently following the money is to the tune of $200 billion. So yeah, here we are. The bully continues to bully the playground, but will they have the backbone to stand up? We all know when you stand up to the bully, what happens when the bully gets punched back.
A lot of articles are saying that this particular CEO, this particular company in general, like I said, it's been touted this whole time as trying to be the most humanistic and human-centered AI that's out there, which sounds crazy in the first place. But nonetheless, this is what they've been doing, and now they're saying this company, the way they're positioning themselves, they would rather it go away. They would rather not have the company than to go this route, release this route. So again, what you just said, buddy, is the question: are they going to hold the line here, or are they going to fall through to the bully? But here's the secondary matrix of all this for me is the reading between the lines part. If this is a public fight where they're saying Anthropic needs to do this, then what other AI what other AI companies are already doing this? But buddy, you mentioned Google earlier. I'm thinking a lot about ChatGPT because a lot of people I know are still on ChatGPT in a big way. So what are they using ChatGPT to do? All these things that they're threatening that they want Anthropic to do that Anthropic's refusing to do right now. At least those things, and then much more. So we've already been engaging on platforms like Google, like ChatGPT, that is already doing all these things that Anthropic is like refusing to do right now. That's kind of where what I've been thinking about a lot.
Yeah, the only issue is apparently Anthropic, and there's been some quotes reported that basically Pentagon top brass saying the only issue is that Anthropic is that good. Like apparently the Claude model is so good that no other models do what Claude is doing, which is what they need for whatever nefarious things that the Department of War are trying to do.
Right.
So again, shout out to Anthropic and the company trying to stand up, but we'll see.
And that's if you want to give a shout out to Anthropic because
Right.
because we also have to acknowledge that for months now we've been talking. There's been people on this platform even that have been saying stop using AI, AI altogether. There's so many different points for reasons why you should stop your own personal data, your own safety. Now you can see they use AI to locate people and do a bunch of stuff. And then of course the way AI is built on data centers, and we've been talking about data centers now for months. And the effect that they have. Anthony Rogers Wright in the chat was talking earlier about the effect on our water table here. We've been talking about the flooding and the situations here. What's really going to happen if data centers start getting built in Omaha, Nebraska? What's going to happen to our water table then? We already got potholes, just sinkholes just popping up around town. So there's something going on with water underneath Nebraska. What's going to happen when water starts getting sucked into these data centers who house the ability to run AI? So there's all these different reasons why that is in the first place, that these things are happening. And everything seems to be kind of rolling forward without it being able to stop. I was listening to a report last night about how actually this morning about how kids and parents are looking to AI to give them the feel and the vibe of colleges. Before they go on their trek to go find colleges, they want to ask AI some of the questions that they can't really ask or find in the frequently asked questions on college sites. What's the vibe on campus? All these kinds of questions that AI could answer, and how much of they're becoming that. And then it shifted to what the colleges have to do now in order to be in front of these AIs. So before you had to have certain keywords and all these things for SEO purposes, for them to be searchable on Google. So that your company can be found. If you go on Google and search a certain topic, your company can be found because it practices good what they call SEO, so that search engine optimization, so that you have certain words and things to find your company. Now they have to tailor all that so that the AI can find you, because that's what people are really looking for. So everything it seems like it's rolling on and won't ever stop because of how we use it. And how convenient it is. It's the ultimate inconvenience. I don't think you won't find there's not another step to convenience than to be able to just be in plain English, be like, hey, I need to find out what the vibe is on the Columbia's campus. And then it just talk back to you and tell you in real language what it is. And that's what you trust now. Instead of any of your searches or talking to anybody face to face or calling up the college or anything or talking to anybody that goes to college, you're just gonna go and get on AI and ask the question. It's the ultimate of convenience, and I don't see how. It's your editor now, it's your spell checker, it's everything in your life. You've already been using it even before it started talking to you, but it's everything in your life. And so now you got to kind of decide. You got to think about that. You got to think about, okay, just like everything else, just like your email, just like your Google searches. How many times have we heard now about people who were arrested and they went and looked at their Google searches and went to see what they was looking up, how to make bombs or whatever the deal is they were looking up, and this has been going on for a while. So how do you get to the point where you're deciding that your privacy matters at all? What it is that you're trying to do is not wrapped up in what's going on. And of course, we live in a time right now where all these things are controlled by the oligarchs.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like we don't even know who owns these things. Elon Musk, who's been talking about race all week long and acting a fool, is one of the owners here of this stuff. So it's really there. Pops in the chat says, "Love you, son. Thank you. No oligarchy platforms this time. My platform exclusively going forward." So Pops,
There you go.
Pops
There you
going
go.
forward with this, man. Put it on his own platform. That's where you gonna get his music from. Skip the oligarchs spots.
Man. And I'm glad you're getting on that. Our guest is popping in here in a second, so we're gonna bring them on. But definitely want to talk about it's not just stopping with AI and Google searches and you know how we get our information in general is being co-opted. Let's just pay attention to what's going on. I don't know if you heard about the new Skydance HBO deal, but again, it's every aspect of information that we take in is being manipulated, is being controlled by somebody. Of course, and again, we'll talk about it, but Skydance taking over HBO isn't just films. We're talking about CNN, TNT, TBS, all the things that we take in, we read, our news, all of these things are being brought up by the oligarchs. And that kind of leaves us with our education. Again, information. How are we getting our information? How are we learning? How are we understanding the world around us is becoming a bigger and bigger question. So,
Yep.
Yeah, we're going to dive into some of that. Go ahead.
We will. Let's take a quick break and we're going to bring our special guest in. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's buddy to God. And yeah, man, it's going down. We got lots to talk about when it comes to this. I'm so glad we got somebody from education in. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
I'm Paul B. He's buddy to God, and she is Brianna Full. Good morning to you. How you doing this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Doing great.
Sunshine coming in the room.
Yes,
Yeah.
I actually had to close the blinds. It's way too sunny in here. If I didn't, then yeah, my light brightness would be worse than it already is. So it's winter time. I need a tan for sure.
Hey, I hear you. Yeah, I opened up the windows yesterday. I was realizing how on my east side window the sun comes in real nice when it's not cloudy, and I was like, yeah, I got to get back outside. This is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or a vacation or something. I just need some.
There you go.
Right near the beach.
You're right near the beach.
Gotta get down.
That sounds fantastic right now.
It's been a while since you've been on. How you been since we talked to you last?
I've been good. I feel like a lot has gone down since the last time I came on. So that's why I wanted to come on again and hopefully update people about what's been going on in my world and the school board. And there's been a lot of news about our budget and everything. So I wanted to come on and give people the opportunity to ask questions if they wanted to. So, yeah.
Okay. Great. Well, let's go ahead and pick it up right where we left off. Again, talking about, how information is being disseminated, being passed in this nation. Of course, we've seen the Trump administration. We just talked about news takeovers from Trump fans. But of course, the Department of Education has also been undermined by Trump. And we're kind of seeing some of that trickle down. The state now having some budget issues resulting in a $50 million shortfall for OPS. So again,
50.6 million. Yes.
50.6 million. Thank you. A lot of numbers. What's the reality? What does that mean?
That means, first and foremost, we are probably going to raise our levy. And that's what I really wanted to stress today, because, I know I've worked in economic development pretty much my entire adult career. I understand the impact that high property taxes has on homeowners, especially in North and South Omaha.
Mhm.
Because, when I worked at Front Porch Investments for a while, and I ran something called their Green Mining Fund.
Mm.
And that was a program designed to invest dollars into North and South Omaha to bring, houses up to code, to make them safer, to um, also help pay off tax liens and property taxes that the homeowner hasn't paid so they can stay inside their house. So I know firsthand the impact that high property taxes has on people. And I want to make sure that people can stay inside of their neighborhoods, that they're not priced out of their neighborhoods, and that they can continue to live in the places their families have lived for generations. And also bring new people in as well, because we want new people to come into our communities and hopefully invest in that way as well.
Mm.
So raising our levy is something that is really important to me. It's something that I think we all need to know exactly what's going on, because um, I will be voting yes to raise our levy, but I do understand that's going to raise a lot of people's property taxes. But because of this $50.6 million cut that we have to figure out how to offset, part of that does mean raising the levy. And that wasn't, OPS's fault. That's just something that we kind of have to reconcile with, and that we have to figure out. So, first and foremost, that's what I wanted to talk about. And in order to kind of meet the moment, or whatever you want to call it, the school district is doing a couple different things to kind of reduce our budget. And I wanted to talk about that as well. So, to
Actually,
offset, oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Before we get to like solutions and what the board is doing,
Mhm.
I am kind of curious how we got here. Like, what happened legislatively? I understand that a lot of people are saying it is at the state level.
Mhm.
What happened that caused this, $50+ million shortfall? And in your opinion, is it connected to the state's budget deficit?
Mhm. It From our understanding, all the board members, all the superintendents, all of the education leadership has been told that it was simply a miscalculation by the state. So,
Hmm.
the state dishes out the money to each school district in the state of Nebraska, and they work off of a budgeting formula called TIOSA. And TIOSA has many different facets to it. There's lots of different elements that decide how much each school gets. And so OPS usually gets the most out of all the school districts in Nebraska, because number one, we are the largest school district in Nebraska. And number two, we serve the most needy kids. So we have a lot of
Hmm.
ESL students, we have a lot of students living in poverty. And because of that, we get more funding to make sure that they get the education that they deserve. So, like I said, from my understanding, it was a miscalculation by the state. I was asking on the back end, how did we miss that much money in our
Right.
budget? Like, when we were doing our own calculations, why is that something that we didn't clock? Like, why didn't we
Mm.
look at that a little deeper and wonder, why are we getting so much money? But what I was told by our school district was there were new calculations going into TIOSA that year that it was miscalculated. There were new elements to the formula. And because of that, we really didn't second guess the extra money that we were getting, because we thought we were going to get extra money anyway. So we
Hmm.
thought, oh, there's the extra money. And I think the extra money was specifically supposed to come, and I can't remember the exact reason, the exact element in the formula. I can go back and post that on the First Sky Omaha pages if you're really interested. But
Hmm.
it was something new, and so we didn't really second guess it when we saw the extra money.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. Really quickly, just also want to acknowledge Brother Bill King and our audience possibly listening on 95.7. He says we're broadcasting on 95.7 The Boss, bossing with us right now. So good. Big shout out to everybody listening right now in the morning. Thank you. Thank
Hey.
you. We're on air with Omaha OPS board member Bree Full. So again, thank you for coming on and speaking with us. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into some of the solutions. What is OPS doing as a result of this shortfall?
Mhm. Well, like I said, we will be raising our levies. We will be going back up to $1.05.
From what?
We from, I believe it's 96 cents we're at right now.
Okay.
So in order to also offset anything in our budget, we're doing a couple different things. So reducing non-salary and benefit operating expenses by 10.43%. So we set aside $10 million last year, and just we call it contingency funding, because we knew, some fishy stuff was going on at the federal level, and it was probably going to trickle down to our school district. And so we set aside an additional $10 million to kind of catch any windfall that might happen. And so we have that money that we're going to use to offset our budget this year, which definitely works in our favor, but it doesn't cover the whole thing. There's also $6.8 million in student device cellular connectivity that we used to have every student, bring home an iPad that had internet connectivity to it. But after doing a little bit more research into kind of the benefits of that, we decided that internet connectivity at home maybe isn't getting the bang for our buck, and kids aren't actually really utilizing the internet at home. And so we decided to just have connectivity at school. They can still take home their iPad. I don't think that they're required to take home their iPad anymore. They can still take it home and, work on stuff offline, but they just won't have that online internet connectivity, which, like I said, saves us about $6.8 million. And then there's also $1.2 million in OSER's pension transition costs that we are still trying to figure out, because if you weren't aware, OSER's is kind of like the retirement system for our teachers. And every year we have to put in a certain amount of money towards that, because OPS, the previous board, made a lot of really poor decisions when it came to investing the teachers' retirement funds, and made a whole bunch of risky investments that did not pay off and actually shot us in the foot in the long run. So we're trying to figure out how to make sure we are paying that off, but also just paying what we need to, because in previous years, we've always made extra payments towards that to make up for our previous mistakes. But this time we're just paying for exactly what we need to, and then using the rest of that money for paying staff members, for also any of the materials and educational curriculum that it takes to educate our kids. So,
yes. Speaking of our kids' education, I know you talked about the impact on the levy and people's property taxes and things like that. But I'm also remembering within the walls of OPS, there are some issues with students with IEPs getting the resources that they need. How does this impact our special needs students?
We haven't gotten any specific information that's like, this is going to impact our special needs students. I don't think there's been any reduction in any special education funding. Obviously that's not going to be the first place we cut at all, because that's something, that we are statutorily required. That's law and federal law, that we have to accommodate those kids and, make sure that we have the funding to do that. But it's also, we understand a lot of those special education students aren't getting what they need already. And so we would never look at cutting anything to do with special education.
Okay. I'm just not necessarily wondering as far as your intentional cuts, but just by way of, the shortfall, just not having the money, would that be impacted? But I do appreciate that. There's also some questions in the chat. I don't know, Paul, if you had any questions, what you thinking?
Yeah, I'm still kind of just processing a little bit about this whole situation, the shortfall, some of the things that you guys are doing. You said you're going to vote on the levy. These other three things that you just mentioned, are you voting yes on those two to go through? And you obviously, if you're voting yes, then you think that those are some good ideas. Is there anything that's going on that is not a good idea that they're putting forth on how to?
So in the budget that we were just presented Monday, there is in there that we would be using some of our rainy day fund or some of our it's called non-assigned general fund dollars, which is basically just the rainy day fund. We would be using that to kind of make up for any budget shortfalls. And I don't really know how I feel about that. I'm leaning to it's giving me a lot of heartburn and a lot of second thoughts because when I was asking questions on Monday, I wanted further clarification about this. I said, what are we going to be using those rainy day fund dollars for exactly? And from what I could understand, it kind of sounded like, oh, this is our backup plan if like the levy doesn't bring as many dollars as we thought or something like that. And it just made me feel like we're kind of giving the idea that we're dipping into our savings in order to offset the budget, but we're really not. So it's not necessarily that I don't support using rainy day dollars. It's just like we're probably not going to end up using them. And so I don't know why we're telling people that we're going to use them. I think it's just kind of an optics thing to make it so, oh yeah, we're cutting costs and we're dipping into our savings. And, OPS is heavily vilified by the state. And especially when it comes to funding, we are the big bad wolf. We're the biggest school district. We take all the money. So people are going to use every opportunity they can to use something against us. And so we have to make it seem like we're doing all these things, and we are, but sometimes we're not in the case of the rainy day fund. So it's more of a transparency thing and being really truthful about what we're actually doing.
Yeah, appreciate that. Definitely want to go to the chat. Chat's going off on some things. To that point, actually, Brother Terrence Hayes in the chat saying, I think it's an operation to starve out inner city schools. There is no way that these people miss that kind of money. Talking about $50 million. Again, this will impact Black and brown communities the most, which I think we can all agree who will be impacted the most by this. Paul, anything else?
Also, I'm thinking about when you're talking about solutions, I'm thinking a little bit earlier when Anthony Rogers Wright is saying, any thoughts, Board Member Full, about advocating for marijuana sales to assist with OPS budget shortfalls? It's worked wonders in Colorado and Washington State. Is this when we're thinking about solutions to cover these shortfalls? Is any of those types of things come up that you can get behind?
Yeah, I think when you're talking about needing to increase revenue by the state, new taxes is one way to do that. Also, increasing the tax base, enticing more people to come to Nebraska, get jobs, and spend money and pay taxes. But absolutely, I am a staunch advocate for legalizing medical and recreational marijuana, because I do think that it is an opportunity that we're missing out on. Pretty much, I can't remember how many states, but it's a majority of the U.S. that has legalized marijuana now and has been using the tax dollars to pay for things like education. And like I said, I just think it's something that we're desperately missing out on. The Nebraska legislature and the senators have passed lots of tax breaks in the last couple of years, which is why we are in the situation we are today. We're not bringing in enough revenue because people are not paying the same amount of taxes for various different things. So we need to find other revenue streams. And one of those ways I think we could do that is definitely legalizing medical and recreational marijuana in Nebraska.
And so that, of course, that's legislative. That's lobbying for something like that. That's nothing that's on the table there at OPS for you to be able to vote on or anything at this point.
Unfortunately not. Yeah.
So right now you're really looking deeply into what the solutions are that they're presenting now. I'll keep going real quick in the chat if you don't mind. Donnell Sexton in the chat, good morning, says, are there any specific contacts for parents of Black children with special education parents? My latest experience has been awful. This is not my first experience with OPS, as my son did graduate from OPS and even participated in the OPS Student Voices group. My daughter has already been denied services and I am being ignored.
Man.
I'm sorry you're going through that, Donnell. Are there any specific contacts? What does that mean?
She's asking, are there any specific groups for Black students with special education needs?
Support groups. None that I've heard of, to be honest. And I
Mm.
mean, Donnell, if not you, then who? Maybe you should start it because
Mm.
um, we can't keep waiting on people to just um, do what we need. The 3 years that I have been on the school board has kind of solidified that for me. Unfortunately, it's like these institutions are not going to give us everything that we need all the time, and so it's our responsibility to kind of pick up the
Mm.
slack. And I hate saying that, and it hurts my heart because I know that OPS and other institutions can do better, and that's why I'm on the school board to help us do better. But at the same time, I'm only one person. I'm only one school board member. Um, and you need 5 other people to get anything done on that school board. And that's way harder than it sounds. So in the meantime, let's make sure that our kids get what they need. And, um, like I said, if not you, then who?
So I'm glad you brought that up because that is the question I want to ask you about too. You talked about the 5 other people on the school board need to vote on stuff. Last time we spoke to you, there seemed to be some lack of communication and things going on between you and the board. Has any of that kind of stuff cleared up? Are you guys getting on the same page as far as any of those concerns? Or are there still battles within the school board? Not no lack of communication there. What's the deal with this board in general?
Hmm. So I'd say things have gotten better. I don't think that they're where they need to be right now, but I think we all needed some time to kind of cool off and let better heads prevail. And
Mhm.
so, that situation taught me a lot when I tried to introduce a resolution to pay for school lunches in OPS for students who did not already receive free lunch. That experience taught me a lot. And the first thing was, even if you think you're communicating, you need to communicate more.
Mm.
um, you need to over communicate. You need to communicate via different ways: email, texting, phone, word of mouth. Second thing it taught me is also, unfortunately, you can't always count on your other board members to do the right thing. And so I reflected very deeply on that. And kind of what I came up with was I just have to do a better job of collaborating with not only my fellow school board members, but also all elected officials, all community leaders in Omaha, specifically North Omaha, to create coalition. Because
Mhm.
nothing that I do, nothing that anything um, you know, I know that has been substantial change for the community has never been done alone. It's always in coalition with other people. It's always because we're working together and collaborating. And so that's what I've been trying to work on, is building coalition with other elected officials, other community leaders in North and South Omaha, East Omaha, and beyond, to kind of get what we need for OPS specifically. So um, I've been very reflective about that situation. Also,
Mm.
just because the resolution didn't pass doesn't mean that there's still kids that don't need help. It's not like that issue went away. And so I've actually been talking recently to some of my school board members about bringing it up again because, hey, it didn't go anywhere. There's still kids that are having difficulty paying for their lunch. And, one of the things that has been told to me is, oh, those schools are not even in your sub district. Why are you advocating for those kids? You're trying to feed white kids out in West Omaha. And I hope everybody understands that just because we're in West Omaha doesn't mean that we're not still a majority minority school district. And so I went back and looked at those schools actually and their demographics and their makeups. Guess what? A majority of them are still minority majority, if that makes sense. Sorry, that's kind of
Mhm.
confusing. Um, there are 22 schools that don't get their lunch already paid for. And 12 out of those 22 schools are still majority minority students. And in a lot of cases, even with the kids or with the schools that are majority white students, it's only by maybe like 20 or 30 students. So it's not like, oh, there's this huge school full of white kids that I'm going to go feed or something. And even if I was, what's so awful with that? What's so awful with feeding kids of every single color? But I just want to reiterate that I'm not trying to go outside my boundaries or advocate for something that I don't believe in. Because OPS is still a majority minority school district. It doesn't matter if you go beyond 72nd Street or not. That's just the case. We are the most diverse school district in the entire state of Nebraska. So,
Well, I do think that I don't know if it's such a issue about feeding white kids or race. It seemed to me, from what I'm understanding about the situation, that it had to do with schools that could afford or school districts that had people in it that can afford to pay for lunch. When we have all these other situations with shortfalls and other schools that can't afford, or other schools that can't afford to supplement things. It seemed to me that was more of the economic issue of the thing was more of an issue than
mhm,
whether or not you're feeding, you're trying to it'd be a race-based issue. So
mhm.
have you learned anything since in this thing there that also had to do with the economics of the situation, and why certain people were saying if they can pay for their own lunch, have them do that, and we can use these resources
Mhm,
over here for other things. Like what is the outcome of the economic argument of this in your eyes?
mhm. Well, I'd say a year ago, I was kind of thinking about something. I was thinking about achievement rates for Black students across the entire district. And so I did something where I requested this data. The administration did a presentation on it for me, and I think maybe three other school board members, because I wanted to understand, um, if a black kid goes to school in West Omaha, do they perform better than a black kid that goes to Omaha North or Omaha Northeast? And what I discovered is, first of all, I discovered a few things, but number one is actually black students achieve better at black schools. And so students, when they're surrounded by their peers and people that look like them, they do better achievement wise. They have better graduation rates. They have better, um, reading rates, test scores, all that kind of stuff. So, but the second thing I also discovered was that Hispanics families specifically do not fill out economic forms, or free and reduced lunch forms. They don't fill that stuff out, and it's no wonder why. It's because they don't want anything to do with the government knowing their family information, how many people are in their household, how old they are, how much money they make. They don't want to give over that information to the government. And that was something that really stuck out to me. And so, any type of data that we try to collect economic wise on these families is always going to be skewed. It's never going to be accurate. It's never going to be right. I think it's literally impossible to try to get accurate information like this, because we shouldn't be asking those families to give away that kind of information, um, because we never know in the long run that information could have to be handed over with, you know, and there's nothing that OPS can do about it. And
Mm.
so when it comes to the economics, it's always going to be skewed. That's never data that we're 100% going to be able to understand. And we know that specifically in Hispanic schools, those people don't fill out the forms, so they don't get the help that they need. And so that's something
Mm.
I've been reflecting on very deeply. And I don't think that's something that's ever going to change. So you have to ask yourself, well, what are you willing to give?
Mm.
If there are 75 out of 100 students who can't pay for their school lunch, but there are 15% that can, but we're never going to be able to accurately decide how many of those 75 people can actually like fill out the form and give over that information. It's just not going to work. So I think there is no other solution than to make than just to pay for all school lunches, because we shouldn't be asking those families for that information. And they're not going to give it over to us. They already don't. So
Mm.
Mm,
Okay.
it's interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I personally definitely think, especially with the $50 million shortfall, getting that achieved is going to be a battle. So more power to you on that battle. But I do appreciate what you're saying as far as economic reporting. I'm also thinking of census data and how many community members do or do not fill out census data and the impact that has on funding formulas for
right.
public schools and things like that. So that is something interesting to continue to look at. Brother Terrence Haynes also in the chat kind of addressing that. He says imbalance in economics, property value, infrastructure, all of these things are more and more play a part in this. City needs to address that. So maybe that's something. We can ask.
Definitely
Conversation.
appreciate
Go
that.
ahead.
We got about a minute or two left here, and so I definitely want to give you the space and the time for any looking forwards or some announcements or some things that we can jump in and try to help with, or initiatives that you're setting up for, that you're going forward with, that we should know about. Yeah, let us know what's going on with you on that.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's definitely some stuff that I didn't get to talk about today, so I'll just go over it really briefly. But a couple weeks ago, me and Jewel Rogers, who's a state poet laureate, we held a town hall on LB 1050, which was a bill that would hold back third graders if they couldn't pass a third grade literacy test. And so we had a really good conversation. There were teachers, there were other elected officials, there were people who have been previously held back in third grade. We all, came and had a really good conversation. And what came out of it was, this is definitely not something that we want for our community, but we have to communicate that with everybody else. So want to talk about that a little bit. Also wanted to talk about the bill to suspend kindergarten through second graders. So that bill is currently going through the state legislature, and OPS is a proponent of it.
Really?
Yeah.
You're a proponent of it. Interesting.
Yes, and it's impossible to take off your school board hat right now. But if I could take off my school board hat, that's definitely not something I support, obviously. And I've brought those concerns up to our superintendent and our administration before. So I'm trying to work with them as much as possible to kind of get at the root cause of what the bill is trying to get at, and find more resources for students so they can stay inside the school and, make sure that they get the education that they deserve.
I'm kind of curious, just in regards to bills and in your official capacity as a board member, are you able to kind of voice opinion or support on bills, or is there like an official? Okay.
Well,
Yeah. How's OPS?
I have to take the stance of the school board, right? Because I am a representative of the school board. And so officially anything I advocate for on like the state legislative level is going to be, the stance of the school board, which is why I kind of made a face and I was like, let me take off my school board hat because, I have to represent the school board in that way. But I also have personal feelings, and I also have conversations with my constituents that tell me this isn't a good idea. So I also want to make sure that those voices are being heard too.
I hear that.
Yeah. And then one last thing, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
So, this past year, I've been really reflecting on my, my time on the school board, what I could do better in the future. And I wasn't initially going to run again for school board because it actually is time. It's my year to run again. And so I thought I wasn't going to. Yeah, already. I thought I wasn't going to. I was, putting out feelers to the community, who wants to run for my seat, who's interested. Wasn't getting a lot of bites. Unfortunately, it is an unpaid position. It is a lot of work. It's a lot of commitment and time, and it's emotionally and physically draining. Or it's not physically draining, it's emotionally draining. And so people aren't always ready to sign up for something like that. But I didn't initially tell a lot of people that I wasn't going to run because I didn't think it was going to be a big deal. I thought, I'm going to do my 4 years, pass it off to somebody else, and it's going to be good. When I actually started telling people, you would have thought the sky was falling down. And I didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal. But people were talking to me and saying, no, we really need your voice on the school board. You're one of the only people who says some of the stuff that we're all thinking. And so they convinced me to run again. And so I will be running again for my position for Subdistrict 2 in OPS. And I think one of the things that I want to work on moving forward is, what does real oversight look like? Because I've had issues with the way the board functions in general, because I don't think we really are able to offer real insight or real oversight of the school district and of the superintendent. For many different reasons that I can get into maybe at another time. I'll come back. But that's something that I really want to concentrate on, because would you believe it or not, there's nothing, in our school board onboarding or anything like that tells you, how do you introduce a resolution? How do you change policy? That's not something that school board members ever learn. And so I don't think we're really set up for success. And I've seen that kind of unfold with the new school board members, Viri and Jeannie, who have joined our board. They came in hot with really great ideas and things they wanted to change. But those ideas were they just slowly died. And I have real issues with that. So I want to make sure that, any new member that comes to the school board and me are able to be effective and offer insight and are able to make the changes that our community needs in order to get things done. Because it doesn't matter how many people are on that school board, if they don't know how to utilize the tools that are available to them through policy change, through resolutions, then nothing is going to change. And so I want to empower other school board members to still work collaboratively with our administration, but also take back our power. Because, and this is the last thing I'll say, Viri, one of our school board members, has been working on updating our immigration resolution to make sure that everything is covered. And so she wanted to do that quickly. She wanted to do that back when, everything was going on. I think it started around like November, December is when things really started popping off. And she was working all the way back then to make sure that our immigration resolution was up to par and what it needed to be. But it's taken her, through no fault of her own, 3-4 months to actually accomplish that. And, I've been on her butt. I call her pretty much like every 2 weeks. When is this coming in front of the school board? When are we doing this? And she tells me, well, it's been really hard to push this forward. And so in no world do I think that updating a resolution should take 3 or 4 months in a state of emergency. And so those are the types of things that I'm trying to address, over the next 4 years, hopefully, if I get reelected, so board members can really take back our power and make sure that our community members get what they need.
Okay. Well, good luck on your run for sure.
Yeah, getting a lot of love in the chat.
Yeah, got some love in the chat. Before we let you go, Miss Cheryl Weston, good morning, is saying, what is the status of that LB 1050? You got an update on this for 1050? You mentioned it earlier.
So it's an initiative of the governor. From what I heard, it was introduced maybe like 2 weeks ago. I don't think it has made it out of the committee yet, but I could be wrong. So honestly, I've been taking notes this entire time about things we've been talking about, and I'll go back and post it in the Friends of First Sky, some follow-up information about that.
Cool. And we'll ask specifically when we do our Senator Cipher, we'll ask them about 1050 specifically, see if they can give us some updates on that as well. Perfect. So, okay, I'm understanding a few more things about how you're doing some things, a little, the balance that you have to have with being on the school board and also advocating for some things in the legislature, and how that can clash sometimes too. So I appreciate the update on that. Buddy, anything that you got hanging out here before we let her go that's on your mind?
No, we touched on actually a lot of things, and kind of teed up for the next story that I do want to get into in this last 7 minutes or so. Apparently there's some movement. SNAP is now being targeted. Again, we've had a lot of conversation about, school lunch and feeding feeding the students at home,
Mhm.
or feeding students at school. But what about at home? Again, there's some SNAP things going on that we have to look at. Yeah, the whole point about immigration policy, we were seeing, policy changes, HUD and things like that. So OPS kind of staying up to date with all of those changes would be interesting to see as well. But as far as for Sister Brieful, no, I don't have any other questions. Again, you're getting a lot of love in the chat. Apparently, people are supportive of your re-election bid. So again, best wishes on the campaign. And yeah, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. If you have any more questions, just send me a message via Facebook Messenger, or my phone number is public at this point. So you can text me, call me, whatever you need to do in order to get a hold of me. So.
There you go. There you go. And
Well,
again, just reminding people we're on air right now at 95.7 The Boss. So for those who might not be seeing what's going on and just listening, again, we are on air with OPS board member Bree Full, and you're tuned in to First Guy Omaha in the morning. Paul.
in the morning.
Hey. Go ahead, take it away, bro.
Thanks a lot, Miss Fool. We'll have you back another time and continue the conversation. We appreciate you.
Sounds good. See ya. Have a good day.
Peace.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Yeah, that went well.
Yeah, a few updates, and
Yeah.
glad to hear it. Still always want to get some clarification on the things from the previous conversation. So I'm glad that she was able to do that, and also able to talk about some of the things she talked about. I did put some information there on LB 1050 in the chat. I wasn't really expecting that part of it, the advocacy side of what it is that she's pushing outside the school board. So we'll give that some more time another time as well. Because I think that that's pretty interesting. We did see that meeting that her and Jewel Rogers had over at the Visitor Center, North Omaha Visitor Center.
Yeah.
It's turning into the Black City Hall over there, man.
Man, the spot.
Also, shout out to Kimra Snipes and Precious McKesson, who has the neighborhood meeting there last night at the spot as well. So lots of important meetings happening over there, and I love the fact that there's people that are talking about some of these bills that are happening. Kind of keeping a list myself of some of the ones that are chiming up, that are popping up more. And a lot of people are on that 1050 for sure. Amend the Nebraska Reading Improvement Act to limit advancement to grade 4. So they're talking about these third grade readers. Shout out to Mayor Sanchez. We have a thing that we're getting ready to put together as well, where we're kind of we work with the African American bookstore. He's purchased some books. We're going to try to get those to some people. This is third grade reading level. We're trying to take a little action on trying to help third graders to get to that point, because we all read that report and heard that report. If you're not really reading and things are not happening for you by third grade, you're going to have a hard time in school going forward. And so that third grade seems to be a pivotal time. And now there's some legislation that has to do with that as well. So let's keep our eye on that. Like I said, we'll speak to the senators during the senator cipher about this particular bill as well. And jot it down in your own notes, along with the other bills that you think are important that are happening. There's 200 of them right now, so we're not going to catch them all. So we really appreciate people that are putting meetings together, talking to the community about them, and then coming on and giving us updates. So shout out to Bree Full, shout out to Jewel Rogers, our Love Supreme awardee at the inaugural Fun Fest, First Guy Omaha Fun Fest. She won the award for the Love Supreme. So shout out to Jewel Rogers, not just doing the work as an artist, but also advocating and talking about things that's going on with the kids too, apparently. Man. So that's what's up. Wanda Lewis says, shout out to the teachers that are at the ILP schools. Right on, Wanda Lewis. I appreciate you shouting them out. Also, only there being okay.
Only one her being. Only one her being.
Only one her being. Got it. Grand rising to you too. Thank you. I'm sitting here. My feed is going in and out for whatever reason. Right now. Yeah. Terrace Hayes' cousin. I appreciate you coming on. I saw some of your comments as well. Thank you very much for that. Also, Mama God, I'm sorry I missed your question there. Suspended. Where did they go? What are the educational options? Yes, suspensions for the kids. That is another one we got to come back to and really dig in as well. So I'm glad she's put that back on the radar for us. And again, we've been talking. We had a conversation with the senators, the last senator cipher, about about that particular bill as well. So we got to figure that out. and see what we need to do to understand what that bill is about. Them suspending kids, they're out there fighting. They're out there fighting to stop that. Young kids being suspended is not the answer, and I think everybody can see that. But that's what they're pushing. So we definitely have to figure it out. Anyway, yeah. Long story short, he said, "Put them bifocals on, BZ." Hey,
need some readers, Paul. Need some readers.
Listen, bro. If I got to make the screen this big and put some readers on top of that, I'm in real trouble. So yeah, we'll see.
Welcome to my life.
Getting old, baby.
Hey.
The rabbit's falling apart. Getting old. All right, we're gonna get. We only got about how many minutes left?
1 minute. Yeah, see, you need them bifocals, man. 1 minute.
I need a better concept of time is what I need.
Hey, there you go.
The fourth estate. Great show, gentlemen. Thank you, Brother King.
Man.
Again, thank you for broadcasting us out on 95.7 The Boss. Shout out to 95.7 The Boss.
Hey, bossing with us.
Man, news gang, bro. We all on the same news gang. It's going down. So I appreciate you guys listening over there as well. Definitely check us out Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 to 9 live on Facebook, YouTube. That's where the conversation's happening. You can chime into the chat over there with us. You can also look at past shows and check out past interviews on YouTube, especially. Like and subscribe when you get over there, if you will. Also go to 95.7 The Boss's YouTube page. Like and subscribe. The last couple things I watched from 95.7 The Boss was on YouTube because I can do it on my big screen because
need the reader.
My eyes is getting bad, right? So shout out to them broadcasting live on YouTube as well. Also shout out to Miss Cheryl Weston, who has her show Conversation with Cheryl Weston. She's also broadcasting on her YouTube channel, and also she's the one that goes out to some of these really important meetings that are happening. Like the ones over there at the North Omaha Visitor Center and is live streaming there too. So check out her live streams of some of these meetings. She's doing documentary work in a big way. So I appreciate what she's doing as well, man. Shout out to all the news gang that are out here doing the good work. We really appreciate you guys doing the good work for sure. Wanda Lewis says, once we get the third graders on point with the reading, they will lower the second grade just like they do with our cholesterol and blood pressure.
Man, try to move the goalposts. Moving the goalposts.
Buddy, you got some words for the people, or is there anything that we need to stay a minute or two to mention? Because I know that we missed a couple things that was pretty important.
There's a lot going on. I honestly would rather wrap it up with this thought as far as actually what Sister Bree Full was kind of alluding to. And I want to apply that to a larger scale. She was talking about coalition building and what she can do better as a board member. And I'm just thinking about, what we can do better just as people, just as a people. I'm realizing that, a lot of us going to work, voting and paying taxes is not enough.
Not enough.
It's not enough. Everybody is not enough. Ain't that what Kendrick said, man?
Not
Look, we got to start getting civically active. This is what we're seeing in society right now with this government. What we're seeing is because a lot of us are asleep. Going to work, paying taxes, and voting ain't enough. It's just not enough. We got to learn what are interim studies. How do we pass resolutions? How do we influence bills? How do we, the people, start flexing some power? Because we got it and we're not using it.
We do. We got to think outside the box. I'm thinking about all the jobs that are being lost right now as well. The job market is really tanking. People are having a hard time and trying to figure out how to make money. Mama God got some breaking news. She says Block, parent company of Square, Cash App, Spiral, etc., are laying off 4,000 people, 40% of the workforce, due to shift in AI. Value increased. Value
That's interesting.
24% after announcing.
Jay-Z is a board member of Block. I was just talking about this with some of the homies.
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
A few things about those things, the shifts that are happening there as well, and also that shift with Anthropic, who's the reason why they're talking about it right now is because of the shift, the shift with HBO. So apparently, Paramount Skydance's stock shot up. Netflix stock shot down because of this situation. And we got to come back Monday and talk about this because I got to tell you, the situation here with Paramount and Skydance is bigger than you think. The It's connected to so many things. First of all, do you watch CNN to get your news? Second of all,
Man,
do you use TikTok? There's a empire that's being built here with these people that are friends of Trump that are buying up everything that you look at, everything
listen,
you watch, everything you listen to. Except
it
us.
is time to unplug from the matrix. Period.
It's really real.
Healthcare, education, entertainment, it's all being undermined. Guys, hey,
It's what it
unplug
is.
from the matrix.
We're going to go ahead and get out of here before we do a couple little haps, just to remind everybody, because this is such an important event. This is happening tomorrow. Beyond the Stigma is going down
Hey,
February 28th from 3 to 5. Shout out to Johnny No Good. Definitely check this out. This is a group of men that get together and try to take care of each other's mental health, basically, is the way they get down. It's going to happen at Assembly of the Saints. Shout out to Pastor Ballard over there at 4224 North 24th Street. It is free to attend, but as you can, any venture that's worth anything usually takes a couple bucks to run. So if you want to donate to Johnny No Good, hit him up. Ask him how to donate to the Beyond the Stigma cause, and so they can keep these meetings going. They're super important. Shout out to him for that. Also, shout out to the redress movement. Shout out to Clarice Dombeck, who is always pushing this. Lessons from the Field is happening Tuesday, March 3rd. Get ready for this. Housing as civil rights, as a civil right. This is what they're pushing. I'm anxious to hear about this as well. So this is Tuesday, March 3rd, 2 to 3:30 p.m. EST. We'll put some more information on this, but shout out to redress movement and this idea, housing as a civil right.
it is interesting. I mean, we have the right to life and liberty. Does housing, is that included in that?
Good question. And don't forget Sunday. Shout out to Pops. Go check it. Go to Pops's page. He's going to be dropping a link so you can check out his music. Shout out to Pops with the Lost Anthology Volume 2 dropping on Sunday as well. Shout out to all the work that he's been doing on that, and all the music that's been flowing since way back in the day. It's going down. And just appreciate all of you to continue on. Don't forget the Durham Museum has the Green Book that is still being shown over there. It's going to go all the way to May 3rd. So there's some weekends that you can get down there and check it out. Definitely highly encourage you to do that. After the Great Plains Black History Museum also is having some things on the Green Book you can check out. There's just a lot going on around that is still building, uplifting, and things that are happening. Also, if you have a kid that you want to get into the Step Up program to get some summer action happening, making some money, having some direction on career, might be a really good time to be paying attention to that because of this job situation. So many jobs being eliminated, so many shifts happening. And this administration is really is causing a crisis in how it is we're going to sustain ourselves, make money, and so on and so forth. We didn't get a chance to talk about what's happening in Cuba.
Man, there's so much going on. This Iran. Yeah, bro.
They're literally walking around with the lights out, no ability to. It's a crisis in Cuba. Look it up. We'll talk about it on Monday. Look it up. It's a humanitarian crisis in Cuba that I don't think I've ever witnessed. This
Trump said, "Cut this TV off. Cut his TV off. Cut his TV off. Cut his TV off."
Pop says, fantastic show. Thank you guys. Have a great weekend and see you on Monday. God willing, and the creek don't rise. That's what's up, Pops. Appreciate you very much. I appreciate everybody who's here. Yes, a human right. I understand that for sure. Man, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. But you got some final words you already gave your final words, didn't you?
Yeah, you always go ahead and do that before they start calling for a third hour, man. You know how it is.
Yeah, we're going to get out of here. Shout out to the Omaha Tribe Elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Shout out to our elders for allowing us to speak before you, and shout out to you, the chat chimers, allowing us to speak with you. I appreciate all of your respect to our guests and the great questions and the great engagement and all the other the great information that you guys have brought on as well. Also, special shout out to William King, 95.7 The Boss, for broadcasting live on the air over there at 95.7. Lots going on with that. We need to have Brother King over. I've been trying to have Brother King on the show for a while, but he got a morning show too, same time as ours. So we got to figure out a different time to talk to him. Yeah, man, the news gang is happening. The airwaves is a piece of that. Amy Ryan, who we work with over at the Benson Theater, and then that works with us now with First Sky Omaha, always talks about this. That's one of the last kind of free places to get your information, the airwaves. Radio has always been super huge and important to her whole plan, right? So shout out to William King for sticking with that and doing all the lobbying that you do to make that happen, and all the infrastructure that you help people with when it comes to low power stations and so on and so forth. We're going to keep on trying to find ways to communicate beyond what's going on in while we have to unplug at the same time. We got to unplug and figure out where to plug back in. So we're going to get to it.
That part.
Yep.
Man, news gang.
Yeah. Before you know it, we're going to be passing little bits of paper to each other in person on the street. And that's how we get our information.
Kites by pigeon.
Get your pigeons ready. Get your pigeons trained. We out of here, y'all. Take care of yourselves. Have a great weekend. It's supposed to be almost 70 degrees today.
What?
Yes, sir. 68.
What?
68.
Bro.
1 degree on Monday.
I can't. And the White House effect, they saying that global warming. Go watch the White House effect, please. Film streams, White House effect. Yeah.
Yeah, please do that. Yeah, enjoy yourselves. If anything's coming up this weekend that is good that we need to check out or that's fun, put it in Friends of First Sky Omaha, the group page on Facebook that we have for now, and where the conversation continues on when we're not live as well. With that, you can always send us an email at firstskyOmaha@gmail.com for any reason. Go to our now he didn't disappear. Go to our website, First Sky Omaha at firstskyOmaha.com. Hit the join button, become a member of the channel as well. That membership is getting ready to be important. We're gonna really start talking to the members, the people that are taking that extra step for us to build this community. So please check it out. Go to firstskyOmaha.com, hit the join button, become a $10 person or a $25 person or a $50 person. Thank you for all the ones that have already done that. But yeah, let's put this thing together so that we can have some communication, more direct communication, and more resources for each other. That's what this is for as well.
Mama God just reminded me of something else. Apparently, USPS don't have to deliver your mail if they don't want to.
You got a racist mailman. They just decides he don't want to deliver your mail. You can't sue him now.
You been asking the mailman, hey, did that check come yet? Did that check come yet? No.
What we gonna do? We can't trust the email. We can't trust the Google. We can't trust the AI. We can't trust the physical mail. We're gonna be standing in front of each other, passing handwritten notes back and forth to communicate in a minute. We're gonna be able to get to each other because they'll be watching us move. They watch us move now.
Yeah, they're gonna use the Anthropic AI to use the flat cameras in the Anthropic AI to read the letter you trying to pass. I mean, it's getting crazy out here, y'all.
Yeah, it is to the point where there's gonna be there's some stuff we need to do, but at a certain point there ain't nothing that you're gonna be able to do but fight back with it. So. Yeah, it's going down. One way or another, it's going down. There's already people fighting back too. So I don't want to try to act like that's not already happening. We actually probably need to highlight some of that stuff a lot more because there's a lot of fight that's going on out here as well against all this ridiculousness.
Yeah, so shout out to Anthropic fighting for now.
Get you some Claude. Get off that GPT. Claude is the one right now for real. Pop says, hey, haven't gotten mail in the last few days. Wonder what was happening. Christy Nor in the chat, good morning. Also, somebody putting their money where their mouth is, running for office, says this is an attempt to further try to suppress our vote. Yeah, we got to talk about it. For sure. Michael Watts is reminding us about what they did in civil rights times. Movement did that. Civil rights movement did it that way and utilized the churches. Seemed to work and should be considered for present day. I'm not joking when I say we need to be standing in front of each other, having these conversations face to face, getting together, gathering up in the neighborhoods, finding spaces like the North Omaha Visitor Center to gather. If it ain't going to be the churches, it's going to be some other spaces.
And we should invite our elected officials.
Hey,
they need to stand in front of the people. Like, why is this happening?
That's real. But you know what? We got the spirit of the Black Panther Party, bro. If you see all these things they did when they didn't have a reliable anything, there's 16 points right here, all the way to Breakfast for Children programs. The one that always stuck out to me was when they talked about when they had their own ambulance. They said, okay, well, ambulance ain't gonna come get us. We'll create our own ambulance company. So we'll create our own communications company.
Like I said, we got to unplug from the Matrix. Got to unplug.
Yep. This ain't nothing new in the sun. It's going down. All right, 9:14 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we're really gonna get out of here now.
For real this time.
You guys take care of yourselves again. Beautiful weather outside. If you're in Omaha, Nebraska, enjoy it. We'll see you Monday.
Peace.
Peace.
By the way, Vanglorious. This is protected by the red